Have you ever laid awake at night, unable to silence the endless stream of thoughts racing through your mind? Every word you said earlier, every glance someone gave you, every text message left on read, all of it replays like a broken record. If that sounds familiar, you might be an overthinker. Overthinkers don't just think, they overanalyze, overquestion, and overfeel. They carry conversations long after they've ended, picking apart every detail as if they could rewrite the past. It's like carrying around a backpack full of rocks, each one representing a thought that should have been set down hours ago. Overthinkers often convince themselves that their worries are productive, that their endless analyzing will lead to some kind of breakthrough. But most of the time, all it does is wear them down, draining their energy and peace of mind. The exhaustion is mental, emotional, and even physical, because their minds never rest. Overthinkers often find themselves battling insomnia, as their thoughts refuse to let them drift off into peaceful slumber. And when morning comes, they're still carrying the weight of unresolved doubts from the night before. The constant questioning doesn't just steal their joy, it steals their ability to move forward. How much longer can you carry those thoughts before they break you? But why do overthinkers suffer so much? It's not because they're weak. No, it's quite the opposite. Overthinkers often possess a gift, a mind that notices everything, a heart that feels deeply, and an unmatched ability to care. Yet that gift can become a heavy burden. Their ability to see the world in vivid detail becomes the very thing that traps them, as they struggle to sort through the noise of their thoughts. It's not easy being someone who notices the small shifts in people's tone, body language, or energy. While others might brush these things off, overthinkers dwell on them, trying to decipher hidden meanings. They often assume that every change in behavior has something to do with them, even when it doesn't. Overthinkers rarely give themselves the grace to let things slide, always believing they have a role to play in everything that happens around them. And that belief turns into a relentless pursuit of answers that often don't exist. When every detail becomes a riddle, and every interaction feels like a test, life becomes a maze with no way out. Overthinkers aren't just processing reality, they're creating scenarios that amplify their pain. Let's talk about relationships. For an overthinker, relationships are a minefield. Every word, every pause, every change in someone's tone feels like a puzzle to solve. If someone's responses are shorter than usual, the overthinker wonders, did I upset them? Did I say something wrong? Are they pulling away from me? And here's the exhausting part. These questions rarely lead to answers. Instead, they create more questions. Overthinkers replay conversations, imagining different outcomes, thinking about what they should have said or done differently. They carry the weight of every interaction, believing they're responsible for keeping everything intact. When someone they care about becomes distant, they assume it's their fault, even if there's no evidence to support that belief. This constant second-guessing takes a toll on their confidence, leaving them feeling like they're walking on eggshells. The fear of being misunderstood or not being good enough can make relationships feel like an uphill battle. Overthinkers aren't just seeking love or connection. They're seeking validation that they're doing everything right. And when they don't get that validation, they spiral into self-doubt and anxiety. It's a cycle that's hard to break because they care so deeply, but that depth often feels like a double-edged sword. But this isn't just about relationships. Overthinking spills into every area of life. Decisions that should be simple, what to wear, what to say, what to do, become monumental tasks. Overthinkers replay every possible outcome in their heads, terrified of making the wrong choice. It's like standing in front of an endless row of doors, unsure which one to open, because they're convinced the wrong door will lead to disaster. Even after making a decision, they don't feel relief. Instead, they worry about whether it was the right one, replaying it in their minds, and imagining all the ways it could go wrong. This constant state of indecision can make life feel like a never-ending series of tests, where every answer is a gamble. Overthinkers often feel paralyzed, unable to move forward, because they're stuck trying to figure out what's perfect. But perfection doesn't exist, and chasing it only leads to exhaustion. Imagine living a life where even the smallest choices feel like life or death decisions. It's overwhelming, isn't it? And while others might see their hesitance as indecisiveness, overthinkers see it as a necessity, convinced that their over-preparation will protect them from failure. Here's the truth. Overthinkers suffer because they're deeply connected to the world around them. They care about what others think. They care about making the right impression. They care about doing the right thing. But caring so much comes with a price: the inability to let go. They hold on to moments that others would have forgotten, replaying them in their minds as if doing so could change the outcome. Overthinkers feel deeply because they live deeply, experiencing life with an intensity that can be both a blessing and a curse. Yet, in their quest for understanding, they often forget that some things don't need to be understood. Not everything requires an explanation, and not every moment deserves to be dissected. Learning to let go isn't about giving up. It's about giving yourself permission to move on. It's about recognizing that not everything is within your control, and that's okay. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you start prioritizing your own peace. And peace, for an overthinker, is the ultimate freedom, a freedom that can only be found by embracing imperfection and uncertainty. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you let yourself just be? When was the last time you let a moment pass without dissecting it? Can you even remember? Overthinkers often struggle to live in the present because they're too busy living in the past or worrying about the future. They miss the beauty of what's happening right now because their minds are somewhere else, replaying or predicting. Imagine how freeing it would feel to simply enjoy a conversation without worrying about how it went or what it meant. Imagine the weight that would lift off your shoulders if you could stop questioning every detail and start embracing life as it comes. Life isn't meant to be a never-ending investigation. It's meant to be lived. Overthinkers need to remind themselves that they are human beings, not machines designed to solve every mystery. It's okay to not have all the answers. It's okay to trust that things will unfold as they're meant to. The smallest hint of distance from someone feels like a warning sign, sparking a spiral of thoughts that can completely take over. Why didn't they reply faster? Did they seem different today? Are they upset with me? And before you know it, you're caught in a web of doubts, assumptions, and insecurities. But what if I told you that not every pause is a problem, not every silence is a sign, and not every moment needs a response? Overthinkers often overestimate their responsibility in situations, believing they have more control than they actually do. Learning to step back, to breathe, to trust that not everything revolves around them is one of the hardest but most liberating lessons an overthinker can learn. It's about realizing that silence doesn't always need to be filled, and distance doesn't always mean rejection. It's about trusting that relationships, like life, have their ebbs and flows. And most importantly, it's about giving yourself the grace to let things be as they are, instead of trying to make them perfect. Here's the hardest lesson for an overthinker to learn. Not everything is about you. If someone is quiet, it might not be because you did something wrong. If someone's mood changes, it might have nothing to do with you. But overthinkers carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, believing they're responsible for everything. They exhaust themselves with questions, wondering how they could have done something different, wondering where they went wrong, and replaying every conversation in their minds. They keep thinking they can fix it, control it, or predict the next move. It's time to put that weight down. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop letting your thoughts control you. It means you finally stop giving power to uncertainty. It means you free yourself from the prison of overanalysis. When you let go, you step into a place where peace isn't defined by knowing everything. It's defined by trusting that you can handle whatever comes your way. It means trusting that the world will keep moving forward, even without your constant mental juggling. Peace isn't found in having all the answers. It's found in learning to live without them. So ask yourself, are you ready to let go of what's holding you back? Are you ready to trust yourself and finally find the peace you deserve? The answers you seek are already within you. You are already enough. The choice is yours, and you are stronger than you think. You've been carrying the burden for far too long, and now it's time to set it down. Let yourself rest. Let yourself heal. You deserve it. If you've made it this far, drop a 100 in the comments. It shows you are part of the 1% that's improving every single day.